It's a beautiful day today, and I hope you guys are also having a beautiful day. We're going to make today's beautiful day even better by reading some more concerning stories. There's going to be entitlement. There's going to be Am I the Yay-Hole? It's going to be a great time, and I hope you guys enjoy. My parents assume that they're going to move in with me when they're old. I was on the phone with them this morning because they called after I texted them an update on my husband and I's house hunting adventure. I'm currently pregnant with baby number 3 and I live safely 15-ish hours away from these people who birthed and raised me, while simultaneously messed me up mentally and emotionally. Why I stay in contact with them nowadays is becoming more and more of a mystery to me, but here we are. Well, while looking at one of these houses I was describing online, my dad asked where would they stay in the future, stupidly thinking as a guest. I mentioned one of the extra rooms could be a multi-purpose room. If you have an air mattress and you're coming for a visit, there you go. This house has 4 bedrooms, 5 if you count one of the rooms on the main floor. He then asked about permanently, further in the future. I said, permanently? He said, when I retire or sometime after that. You know, Stairs won't be your mum and I's friends around then. You think you'll be living with us? Entitled Dad, of course. Me, no. Entitled Dad, we can help with the kids. Me, no. My mum, remember we always talked about this when you were younger? Me, no. Dad, what, are you going to put us into a home? Me, you'll make friends? Dad, well that's not nice of you. Me, I never said I was. And the discussion ended after that. Yeah right, that's so strange because you obviously must have been so young that, you know, you don't remember that. So if you were like a kid and they said, oh, you'll let us live with you when you're older, won't you? And you said yes when you were younger, and then what, never talk to you about it again? Why would they expect that you were being serious? Yeah, like the top comment says, we always talked about this when you were younger. Yeah, because a child between 3 to 14 is really going to understand the concept of a nursing home and sending your parents away. Good job on telling them no. And OP said, my mum has always brought up living with me when she's old, and I always said nope, even when I thought she was joking. I did entertain the idea at one point, if we lived in a big enough lot, they could have a trailer on it, never in the same house, but I always kind of knew that wouldn't be a real possibility. It very nearly almost happened a year ago, but then my dad decided that God has called him to stay in our home state, in the most haughty of voices. Okay, thank you, Jesus, lol. Yeah, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, why would they actually think that that was going to happen? Yeah, that's really confusing and definitely entitled. And yeah, good on you for saying no, OP. The next one is also on entitled parents, and it's called My Entitled Sister and Brother-in-Law Wanted Me to Sacrifice My Youth for My Nephews. This happened in my early 20s when I was still a college student. I stayed at my sister and brother-in-law's house for a while. They have 3 kids. Back then, their eldest 2 were under 3. I did a fair bit with them, played toys with them, watched shows and read to them. But I was also a typical college kid who occasionally wanted to party and go out with friends. My sister and my brother-in-law hated this and they would shame me. They wanted me to go to college and come back home as soon as my classes finished. I wasn't even near the most wild college kid. It might be once a fortnight that I'd go to a party. Every time I would tell them that I was going to be out, it was, but what about your family? You need to be closer to your family. Your friends won't be forever. You should be spending time with your nephews. I was treated like some deadbeat parent for wanting to enjoy my youth. Yeah, that's not good, OP. Getting parentified by your sister and your brother-in-law. Yeah, that's awful, OP. Like, hey, I'm a college kid. I want to have fun. I'm not your parent. Come on. But yeah, you're right, OP. They were only upset because they weren't getting what they wanted. The top comment is so good. My aunt used this one on me once trying to get me to watch her kids yet again. My reply, shut her up. Well, for a while anyway. I am thinking of the family that I'd like to start, but I can't go on dates or meet people if I'm always at your house watching your kids. Yeah, 1,000,000%. That's such a good response. I am thinking about my family, the one I'm going to have in the future. Now I'm going to leave and you can't stop me. Yeah, that's so frustrating. Okay, we're heading over to Am I the Yay-Hole? Am I the Yay-Hole for taking away my brother's +1 and inviting his girlfriend myself? I kind of know that I'm the Yay-Hole, but I need to know how bad it was. My brother's 29 and has been with Leah for about 2 years. We all like her. She's super nice. I'm getting married next April and sent an invite to my brother's apartment. We decided to send invites to households and not individuals. For example, our aunt received an invite for her family and not for each individual. Last Thursday, we met at my parents' place. It was just the core family because of some tax reasons. Lol. While there, I asked my brother about Leah's dietary restrictions. I know that she is vegetarian for health reasons and that she can't have certain raw vegetables. He said that she wasn't going to come and that he was taking his girl best friend Amanda instead. Why, dude? Now, their relationship is weird AF. Amanda has always been stringing my brother along, in my opinion. He always denies having feelings for her, but let's be real here. Yeah, why are you taking your girl best friend and not your partner? Amanda would date other guys and blow off my brother, and then when things were on the decline with their partners, she would be attached to him again. Her last boyfriend broke up with her right around the time that my brother, his then ex-girlfriend, and Amanda and her ex were supposed to travel to Spain. What did my idiot brother do? Go with Amanda alone because Amanda was uncomfortable with his ex-girlfriend. Obviously, he acted blindsided when his girlfriend broke up with him. I didn't even say anything anymore because it's all so weird. So when he said that, I asked if Leah already had other plans, but my brother said that Amanda had asked if she could come because it would be an opportunity to finally see the old gang. We were in the same friend group in high school. I told him that I would have invited Amanda if I wanted her there. Amanda is mean and cold. She always makes disparaging comments about other girls. At every event around 1 hour in, she'll make some sort of scene that either has her running away crying or sitting mad at a table telling everybody to leave her alone and then making a cryptic comment about something hurting her. I told my brother I was revoking his +1 and Amanda was not coming to our wedding. He accused me of being misogynistic and bigoted because I don't understand opposite sex friendships, which is BS. My husband has a female childhood best friend who's his best woman. I love her too and she's been amazing and she respects boundaries. She always includes me and made a huge effort when I started dating my fiance to integrate me into the friend group. Anyway, I said my decision was final. He could take it or leave it, but I'd be inviting Leah myself because I like her. He screamed at me and told me to keep out of his business. Bro, you're talking about bringing somebody to OP's wedding? That's definitely their business. I said to get rid of his weird bloody feelings for Amanda. He's mad at me. My dad said none of our deal. My mum is furious with my brother. So am I the a-hole? No, I don't think so. Edit to answer some questions. The invite was addressed to the Smiths, funnily enough. Leah had the same last name as us. Granted, we have one of the most common last names. Yes, they live together. The tax thing is nothing huge. My parents have a small business but are really bad at keeping track of all their receipts. So every month we go and help them. We digitalize the receipts and put them in a bookkeeping software for the accountant. Amanda is in the comments. Say hi. Yeah, no, you're definitely not the a-hole, OP. And of course it's your business. They're talking about who's gonna go to your wedding. If you don't want Amanda at your wedding, then that's final. Yeah, the top comment, not the a-hole. I think the bottom line is if you don't want Amanda at your wedding because she causes a scene and brings a negative energy, I think you're well within your right to say that she's not allowed at your wedding. You can invite Leah yourself, but by the sounds of your brother's behavior, who knows if they'll even still be together by then? Even if they are, I wouldn't count on her sticking around if he keeps prioritizing Amanda over her. Yeah, and how wacky's that? Imagine doing that. Yeah, let's move on. The next one is also on Am I the A-hole? Am I the A-hole for not inviting somebody for dinner because she made a big deal about how she doesn't eat at the homes of people who have cats? Wow, okay. A while back I posted a picture on my IG stories of my cat sitting next to my counter as I was cooking, on his own stool. He was watching. Again, he was next to my counter, not anywhere near the food. He doesn't go on the counters, he doesn't go near the food. My friend Rose reposted it with her own caption, a puke face emoji, and you can't eat everybody house. Okay, so that's already so weird. Why would they do that? I ignored it and I went about my business. She's very much the type of person who just regurgitates whatever popular phrases that she says on social media. Pineapple on pizza? You're a monster. Raisins in cookies are why I have trust issues. I don't trust people who don't like dogs. Hot girl walks, hot girl books, delulu. I'm gonna hold your hand while I tell you this. Is the so-and-so in the room with us right now, etc. She has other traits that make up for it, but truthfully, I do tend to avoid one-on-one time with her. About a month ago, I hosted a small get-together to show off some Le Creuset cookware I obtained. Getting older is weird. I had a whole little shindig with home-prepared food, lots of fun time between pals. I did not invite Rose. She found out after folks posted on their IG stories and confronted me over it, saying that I was giving high school mean girl vibes. I told her that she's made it clear that she doesn't eat at the homes of people who have cats, so why would I have invited her to a dinner party? She got defensive and said that she could have just come and not eaten anything. I said that in the future maybe she should be more careful about what she says, because to me it was very clear. Rose has continued to tell people that I'm giving high school mean girl to nurse pipeline, I'm an accountant, and all that. Am I really the a-hole for not inviting her? Why would she have wanted to come? No, you're not the a-hole. What? What did we just read? You get to choose who you invite to your house, OP. Yeah, no, you're for sure not the a-hole, OP. There's no obligation on your end. Yeah, like this comment says, I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this. You're not entitled to my time, my cooking, or entry to my house, Rose. Okay? It's giving Delulu vibes. She should understand that. Yeah, OP, please say that. And also, was it a spelling mistake, or did they actually say you can't eat everybody house? Because that doesn't make sense, does it? You can't eat everybody house? Yeah, how frustrating. And also kind of insufferable too. Like, yeah, you're definitely Delulu if you feel like you're entitled to go into somebody's house. Yeah, you had no obligation to invite them, OP. And it doesn't sound like you like them anyway. So why would you invite them over? Imagine reposting a photo of somebody's cat in their house and then putting like a vomit emoji on it. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, this comment, haha, totally not the a-hole. You're completely within your rights to not invite somebody into your home who's made it clear that she has a problem with how you keep your house. Yeah. And also the fact that like acting like this is kind of insufferable. And it sounds like the only person who's giving like mean girl high school vibes is them. So yeah, I definitely don't feel like you're the a-hole, OP. I feel like that one's pretty simple. Wow, okay, the next one that we're going to read is on the Am I the Devil subreddit. Well, like it's been put onto Am I the Devil. Am I the jerk for calling a pregnant woman ugly? Okay. I'm nervous. This was a few years ago. I, 20 male, worked in a warehouse. One of my co-workers, let's call her Shrek. Shrek was middle-aged and female and had just had a baby and recently came back to work. I usually paid Shrek no mind. We didn't run in similar circles, plus I wasn't exactly fond of her as a person anyway, so there wasn't much need for us to interact. To give you an idea of the kind of human being that Shrek was, she's the kind of person who sides with the villain of a story. For example, I was listening to Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast. Great listen, check it out. And Bill was covering a story where a husband finds out that his wife of 14 years cheated on him on their wedding day. He found this out when he had a chance meeting with the waiter that his wife banged in the same bed that they consummated the marriage in. Shrek overhears the story and blurts out that the waiter is messy. And why would he blow up that woman's marriage like that? I asked Shrek in return, well, was the wife not messy to cheat on her husband on their wedding day? Shrek had nothing to say for that. One day, however, we crossed paths on the way back from the break room. She starts talking to me, and because of social politeness, I talked back. I don't remember how the conversation started, but we somehow got on the subject of my religion. I think she'd asked or interrogated me about why I never worked on Saturdays. I responded honestly, and I said Saturday is the Sabbath. I was raised Christian. Shrek kinda looks me up and down, gets a smug sneer on her face, and replies something along the lines of, really? You don't look like the kind of person who'd believe in God. At this point, I go deadpan. Social politeness switch off. I retort to, well, Shrek, you don't look like the kind of person anybody would want to get pregnant. Yet you still had a baby. Shrek has no response. She just stops walking and stares at me with her jaw dropped. I walk away done with this conversation. Over the next few weeks, several co-workers that I did actually have rapport with came up to me asking things like, damn, how could you say such mean things to Shrek? And damn, I didn't know you were so mean, OP. Yeah, she told her co-workers what I said. I should have known that she would. Women tell each other everything. Excuse my misogyny. And Shrek was the gossipy type anyway. Every time they'd ask me these things, I'd ask them in return, well, did Shrek also tell you that you made fun of my religion beforehand? And that's why I said what I said? They all said, no, Shrek didn't tell me that part. Convenient. Regardless of me clearing things up with those who asked, I'd still already earn the reputation of mean guy to all the co-workers that Shrek told. I never got called into HR about it though. I guess Shrek realized that if she escalated it, then she'd also be on the hook for making fun of my religion. Let's get one thing straight. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. But if you go out of your way to be catty and disrespectful to me, I don't feel obligated to be nice to you either. That's reasonable. I know I wasn't wrong to say what I said. Being the a-hole doesn't always mean that you're wrong per se. I just want to know if I am indeed the a-hole here. I'm not really religious anymore. I reached the age of logic and reason, so I guess Shrek was right in the end. Right, okay, but she didn't make fun of your religion, OP. She said, oh, you don't seem like the type to be religious. That's not making fun of it. Is it? I don't feel like it is really insulting your religion. And even if it is a little bit, it doesn't justify what you said to them, OP. The top comment says this was a few years ago. I, 20 male, worked in a warehouse. One of my co-workers, let's call her Shrek. Mate, I don't need to read any further than that to know that you're an absolute clown, but I did. At absolute worst, she implied that she didn't expect you to be religious, whereas you implied that she's lucky to be a mother because of her appearance. Seriously, man, how is her comment an insult to your religion? And your comments are even more telling. In this post, you claim that she insulted your religion, but when folk point out that your actions weren't very Christian of you, you immediately defend yourself by saying that you're not religious anymore. So which is it? Did she insult your religion and your response makes you a bad Christian? Or did she make a comment about your former religion and you acted like a petty child? God, not only are you the jerk, but you're an embarrassing one at that. Yeah, what OP said was way worse than what the other person said. Yeah, definitely the a-hole. The next one that we're going to read is also labeled as the a-hole, so it should be an adventure to read. It's called Am I the a-hole for throwing away my roommate's food because I didn't like the smell? I, 25 male, share an apartment with my roommate Dave, 24 male. We've been living together for about a year, and generally things have been fine. We get along well, we split the chores, and we respect each other's space. Recently though, we've hit a rough patch. Dave has recently gotten really into cooking, which I initially thought was awesome because it meant that I didn't have to cook as much. However, he's been making a lot of dishes with strong spices and ingredients that I don't particularly like. Yeah, well, make your own food, OP. Why did you feel like because your roommate is into cooking that means that they're going to cook all of your food? That's not what that means. He probably doesn't want you to eat the food. Specifically, he's been making a lot of curry and other heavily spiced foods that leave a lingering smell in the apartment. At first, I didn't mind too much. I thought it was great that Dave was exploring new recipes and enjoying his hobby. But as time went on, the smell became more and more overwhelming. Even after he finished cooking, the scent of curry would linger for hours, sometimes even into the next day. It got to the point where I felt like I couldn't escape it, and it was starting to make me lose my appetite and feel uncomfortable in my own home. I approached Dave about it a couple of times, asking if he could maybe cook something else or at least use less of the strong spices. I tried to be polite and understanding, explaining that the smell was bothering me. Dave listened, but he said that this is what he enjoys eating and cooking, and he didn't want to change his diet. He suggested that I could open a window or use an air freshener if the smell was that bad. 2 days ago, I came home from work and the whole apartment smelled like curry again. I was already having a bad day, and walking into that strong smell was the last straw. I was really frustrated, and in the heat of the moment, I decided to throw away all of Dave's curry from the fridge. I thought this would be a good way to make the point that the smell was a real issue for me, and that I needed him to take it seriously. When Dave came home and found out, he was understandably furious. He said I had no right to throw away his food, and that it was incredibly wasteful and disrespectful. He pointed out that he'd spent a lot of money on the ingredients, and now he had nothing to eat for the week. I could see how upset he was, and I immediately felt guilty. I apologized and offered to pay for the ingredients, but Dave is still really angry, and he's been avoiding me since. I have tried talking to him a few times, but he keeps giving me the cold shoulder. Some of my friends think I overstepped. I'm pretty sure you know that you overstepped, OP. While others agree that Dave should have been more considerate of the shared living space, I understand that I acted out of frustration, but I also feel like Dave wasn't considering how his cooking was affecting me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you already know that you shouldn't have thrown out his food, OP. And also, being frustrated is not a bloody excuse to do something like this. Like, oh, I had a bad day and I was already frustrated. Control it, bro. That doesn't mean you get to throw people's stuff out. That doesn't justify that. People get frustrated all the time. It doesn't mean they throw people's stuff away. Yeah, like this comment says, you the gay hoe. He said I had no right to throw away his food and that it was incredibly wasteful and disrespectful. Yeah, he's right. I was already having a bad day and walking into that strong smell was the last straw. I was really frustrated and in the heat of the moment. You need to learn to manage your own emotions. You should never take a bad day out on other people. You can't give in to frustration or act impulsively in the heat of the moment. That's how people ruin relationships and lose jobs and get in trouble with the law. It's pretty much roommate law that you don't touch somebody else's food unless you have their explicit permission. I'm glad you already offered to pay Dave back. You should go ahead and do that ASAP. And yeah, buy some air freshener and a fan. Open some windows. Yeah, definitely. Once again, I feel like this one is pretty simple. Like, yeah, don't do that. And the bit about getting frustrated too, that's not good. You need to be able to get frustrated but not do stuff like that. It's not an excuse to do stuff like that. The next one that we're going to read is called Am I the Gay Hoe for Walking Out of the Room After My Brother Told Me the Name of His Baby? I'm only a teenager, but my mother had my brother at 16, making him in his 30s. Ever since I was young, I've always talked about naming my future daughter Scarlett. I don't know why, but I've always adored the name. Every time the topic of babies and names and children comes up, I always say that my daughter will be called Scarlett. Everybody in my family knows this. Last week, my sister-in-law gave birth to a healthy baby girl, and as you can probably guess, they named Scarlett. I was really upset at my brother as he knows that that was my top name. I didn't make a big deal about it. I just left the room obviously upset. Scarlett isn't a family name or anything, and my brother has never mentioned even liking the name. One time he said that he wasn't a fan. I asked him why he'd name his daughter that, and he told me to stop overreacting and to get over it, and that I don't own the name. I get that it doesn't belong to me, but just because I'm a teenager doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to have plans for my future. Edit, when I say I walked out, like I didn't storm out or anything. I just sort of excused myself. A lot of people are saying that it is common for cousins to have the same name, but not here and in my family. And also, Scarlett isn't a common name here. Some people are confused. I'm a girl and I'm not 16. There's a comment here that says you're not an a-hole, but your brother's right. You don't own the name. It sucks that your sister-in-law named the baby Scarlett, but did you ask her about it? Was it a special name to her? Did she know that you had that name picked out? Or did your brother not share that information? And remember, you may not have any children when you're married, or you may have kids and they may end up being boys, or you go ahead and name your daughter Scarlett and that's that. And OP said, yeah, she knew. She's been in my life since I was like 5 years old. Yeah, that's not very good then. Like, yeah, obviously you don't own the name, but they knew about it. And also your brother said that he didn't like the name. And your brother's partner also knew about it too. But yeah, also you haven't done anything to make you an a-hole, OP. You're just upset about it. There's a comment here that says no a-hole. He's right that you don't own the name. There's no guarantee that you'll have a daughter or that she and her cousin will socialize. However, he doesn't own it either. And so if you go ahead and name your daughter Scarlett and he freaks out, then he'd be the a-hole. And OP said, yeah, he would freak. And the comment under that says, still, you should use it someday if you want to. Tell him now that you plan to use it anyway if one day you have a daughter, so he's forewarned. If he has an issue about that, tell him he doesn't own the name and he should have expected this. Well, that's a really good point because he should have expected that. Like, if you've always said that you're going to name your daughter Scarlett, he can't be surprised if you name your daughter Scarlett one day. Okay, the last one that we're going to read today. Am I the gay hoe for not retaking the family photo since my daughter-in-law wasn't in it? Every couple of years, we get everybody together and do a giant family photo. In total, it's about 40 people. The last one that we did was in 2018, and we decided to do it again. I organized the whole thing, and everybody was told that small pictures will be done at 4 and the big picture was at 5. Afterwards, we get dinner. The issue is that my son and daughter-in-law were running late. It wasn't a big deal since it was just small pictures, pictures. They get here in time for the large picture. I asked everybody to be there on time. I called twice asking if anybody is missing. Everybody is lined up and the photographer takes like 15 minutes for the big picture. Everybody is hungry and hurrying to get food. My daughter-in-law soon comes out asking about the picture. It's around 5:30 at this point. She told me that she was in the bathroom fixing her hair when the picture was getting taken. She asked me to round up everybody again to get a picture. I told her no, that she was late to coming to the event and couldn't care enough to actually be on time for the picture. I'm not gathering everybody up again and paying the photographer an extra hour. The photographer was done and packing up at that point. This caused a huge argument between her and me. My son is demanding that I get it in the picture, and I told him to pay somebody to Photoshop her in. Am I the a-hole? Yeah, like the top comment says, why did your son not speak up and mention that she was not there when the picture was taken? That's weird. And OP said, I don't know. I seriously don't know why he didn't speak up. Either he didn't care or didn't notice. Yeah, that's super weird. Like, hold on a second. Did he assume that like everybody knew that she was in the bathroom or something? Yeah, no, I don't feel like you're the a-hole, OP. And also, I like the Photoshop idea. I bet you somebody could make it so like you couldn't even tell. Yeah, I don't feel like it was that big of a deal, was it? And like this comment says, not the a-hole, and it's pretty self-centered to assume that 39 people and a photographer that your in-laws are paying for will wait and should wait for you to fix your hair for 30 minutes. She should be annoyed at herself and her husband. Yeah, that's a really good point. Shouldn't even really be upset at OP. Like, yeah, the husband was in the photo and the husband, I guess, knew that she was in the bathroom. Should be upset at him. But yeah, Photoshop her in and you won't even tell the difference. Okay, I feel like that's enough for today. That was such a fun episode and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's read something wholesome. Progress after 1 year of converting a water-dependent lawn to 70 species of mostly native plants in Ontario in 2022 and 2023. Wow, that's really beautiful. Like, that looks completely different. It looks like a different property. Yeah, that's so beautiful. My neighbor complained about my kids being too loud. They were. I bought her flowers and a card telling her that they aren't used to living in an apartment yet. She left me some alphabet cookies with a sweet card saying that we'll adjust together, and that was beautiful as hell. Yeah, wow, that is beautiful. Like, yeah, they're definitely too loud, but we're gonna work on this together. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe. And the comment of the day today goes to Fifi. Always nice to wash the dishes or do clothes and other chores while listening to Vincey. Sometimes I've got to put the sponge down so I can hear the juicy parts better. Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. It's so funny to think that like while I'm reading these episodes, you're cleaning your house and you're listening to me at the same time. That's awesome. And I really appreciate the support. I'll be back soon with a new episode and I hope to see you then, guys. Also, let me know down below if you're having a good day and also what you want to see next. And as always, make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!